Hey, what's up, guys? Tony here, and welcome to another game of MLB 12 Road to the Show. And this is a Tony Miller video, as the title states. And we are still in AAA. I've got a handful of games recorded that I'm gonna try to bring to you guys, and of course to our sports, and we can get this guy moving again, because it's been a while since I've actually played with this guy. I think I looked at the dates on the video. I think it was like 3 weeks. It was something ridiculous, like 3 weeks. Like, okay, it's I should play MLB a little bit more, you know. And I don't know about you guys, and I mentioned this in previous videos. Like when a new thing comes out, like I get really like wrapped up in it, you know. Not obsessive. That sounds really terrible, but I get so wrapped up in it. And I have a hard time, you know, switching gears, and so I'm gonna have to switch gears a little bit. And I guess that's kind of a good segue into something that I want to talk about, kind of very briefly. And it's kind of a coincidence. Obviously, if you notice the banner, I forgot to mention it, but if you notice the banner, today's 4th of July, so it's American Independence Day today. America's birthday is what it's been. It's commonly known as now. So you'll see a lot of people like "Happy Birthday, America." But I thought that. Like I said, it was a good segue into like the change. There have been some things with me the last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks at most that I've been thinking about. I want to change, you know, and it has nothing to do or pertain to YouTube at all, or sort of like my channel or video gaming or anything like that. But I want to get back into shape, you know. And a while ago, I actually wanted to do a dual commentary with the Mediocre Madam. This girl Brittany that I met through Yoush, actually, and she ended up becoming partnered with Machinima. But anyways, when I met her, she was kind of slightly overweight, and she was not happy with her body type, and she wanted to make a change. And so she's lost a lot of weight. Like, you know, she sent me, not me specifically, but she put a picture up on Twitter, and I was like, holy crap, you look amazing, you know. Like the last time I saw you was, you know, like a year ago. It was COD XP, so almost a year ago. And she looks different. Like, actually, you know, it's funny because she looks a lot younger now too. It's really strange. And so I got thinking about that. I'm like, you know what? I've got my own sort of weight goals and fitness goals that I want to try to meet. And so just so you know, like I think I mentioned before, I'm 6'3", and I weigh in right now. I'm like 215, you know, and I'm not like terribly overweight. It's more of just like, hey, you know what, I could lose a few pounds, you know. I think I'm supposed to weigh like about 200, you know. That's like the quote, like right, you know, weight for my height or whatever. There's like charts and stuff. I don't know exactly, but anyways. So anyways, like, I woke up this morning, and it's kind of coincidental that it's American Independence, you know, and how back then they were making a statement that they were changing, they were separating themselves from Great Britain, and then starting their own country. And here I am, I'm separating myself from what I don't want to be into something that I do want to be. And so like I said, I think it's kind of a coincidence, but the reason why I bring that up, and also the Independence Day stuff, is because I did a commentary last year, last 4th of July, and I had thought about reading the Declaration of Independence, but it's kind of a hard document to read, so I didn't practice it, so I didn't want to go up there and just like read it and just totally bomb it, you know, just totally screw it up. So I didn't do it, but if you guys remember last year, I did find a reading of the Declaration of Independence by John F. Kennedy, you know, President Kennedy, and I thought it was very appropriate because it was over a Black Ops video, because, you know, Black Ops, it, you know, takes place during the 60s, and I thought it was very appropriate, but I didn't get a chance to do that today. But the reason why I bring that up is because while I decided to, again, like I said, change some things about me, I decided to go out for a walk. And I know that there's some people out there, I know that some of you guys are actually really fit, and unfortunately for me, I've been kind of a desk jockey the last year and a half, 2 years, and you know, spent a lot of time in libraries reading, writing papers, you know, just not finding the time for fitness. So I opted to go out for a walk today, and so I went out for this walk, and it was only probably a couple miles, you know, it wasn't all that big of a deal, but I noticed something while I was walking is that I noticed there was a lot more American flags out today than there are usually when I drive through these neighborhoods. And I guess that kind of goes without saying because it is Independence Day, and it's a major American holiday, and so people like to show their patriotism during these times. But as I was walking, I'm kind of like, where is this the rest of the year? Why are we only showing our patriotism, like once a year? When it's sort of called for. Like why isn't there this sort of patriotism displayed year round? And it reminded me a lot of September 11th, post September 11th, when you couldn't buy an American flag because everyone bought them. The places, stores were sold out of American flags because they were all displaying them in front of their houses in this show of unity, of patriotism. And I kind of wish, and I know this is gonna. I don't mean to be harking on people. I don't want to be like or ragging on people. But I kind of wish that goes on. Longer than just a day. Because when I went to Europe, I noticed that some year, like, because when I was in Poland, I noticed people with like, I don't know, jackets that said Poland on them. Basically, I noticed flags were flown throughout the city, throughout Warsaw and Krakow. There were cabbies that had the Polish, or even when I was in Ukraine, Ukrainian flags. Actually, Ukrainian flags were everywhere too. And they were very, very proud of their flag, and so they had their flags. Like cabs would have flags on the stick, in the dash, or a sticker on the dash. And I was kind of like, yeah, I really like that. I don't, call me as sentimental, but I really enjoy that, and that's why I put the banner up. I like the look, and I got thinking about our flag, the stars and stripes, the old glory. And I think I was thinking, like, this is gonna sound, I don't know if it's gonna sound weird or whatever, but it's like I really love our flag, and I've heard that about other people. Like, I heard that I confirm this with Canadian friends of mine yet as I'm recording this, but I've heard that Canadians like love their flag. They absolutely love their flag. And the funny thing is I love our flag. It's so unique in the world, because if you look at, I don't know, like the Mexican flag, it looks very similar to the Italian flag, which is very similar to the Irish flag. You've got all these flags that are just like triple colors, and then even the German flag, it's just whatever, 4 colors. They use these colors, these stripes, vertical or horizontal. But then when you look at the American flag, you're like, bam, that is so unique in the world. You've got the, I mean, it didn't start out all that unique, because it started out just with the red and white colonies, and then, of course, later on you added the Union, the blue part, and then the stars representing first the colonies and then states, or excuse me, always states, and then the stripes are for colonies. But it's so unique, it's one of those things it's like, if you take like advertising class, they talk about brand identification. You're just like, boom, America, like that's the American flag. And so for those of you guys who have seen the one episode of the Game Speak that we did, the Shusey Bang guys and I, and Veggie, you saw that I got a big American flag in my room. And I bought that 2 years ago because I actually wanted to fly it outside of my house. But the thing is, I totally forgot that I don't have a flagpole. Not like a flagpole like at school, but just like a pole to put flags on. And I bought it, and I bought these other 2 small flags, like flags on the wooden sticks, and they have the flag stapled to them. And so I had those outside. And the thing is that I didn't have anywhere to put the big American flag, and I wasn't like, could you imagine this? Could you imagine going back to the store and be like, yeah, I don't want this flag. It's like, what are you talking about, man? Like, I could not be the guy to return the American flag back to the store. So I opted to tack it up on my wall, and so it's been there ever since. And so, like, when I was going on that walk, I really appreciated seeing all that stuff. And like I said, I just kind of wish that I'd see that throughout the year, not just during these times where it's expected sort of celebration. So to get off that topic, what do you guys do typically? For 4th of July. I mean, today the weather's actually pretty crappy. We had great weather here in San Diego. Great weather all last week. It was sunshine. It got up to the 80s. It was like perfect beach weather, and then now it's overcast and kind of cold. It's like, of all the days. I mean, I'm hoping it'll burn off. I really am, because it's still 11:30 as I'm recording this. I'm pretty sure it'll burn off. I hope so. But I know for me and my family, we like to get together over my parents' house, barbecue, drink some beers, hang out, and for the longest time, and I don't think they're doing it anymore. At least I think it's been actually two years since they did this, but they don't have fireworks in Oceanside anymore. So we used to be able to watch from this park, Marshall Street Park in Oceanside. We used to be able to watch the fireworks as a kid. We'd go there and watch the fireworks, and you could see a great view because you could, facing west, so you could see the ocean, and they always have a pretty good fireworks show. And I think they did away with that, which would be really unfortunate, because it's one of those things, you see these spectacular fireworks shows, and I'm still, if you guys know, please let me know in the comment section. But I'm just still trying to find out the fascination with what we all have with fireworks displays. I mean, it's spectacular. I mean, I get that part, but I don't know the history of it. I don't know where it came from. And so it's one of those things. If you guys know, let me know in the comment section. I don't know. So, anyways, just so you guys know, because I actually had to look it up. I didn't. Well, maybe not look it up, but like did a quick calculation. But today, 236 years today. Can you believe that? 236 years. That doesn't sound like a very long time, but and it's not in the history of, say, the world. 236 years is not a lot, but the things I think that we have achieved as a country, as a people, it's pretty remarkable. I think we're definitely the country that's right place, right time kind of a deal. And the one thing I actually asked yesterday was I polled Phoenix and Column, and actually Phoenix asked her younger sister, because I was just kind of curious. So I wanted to know, what is it? And then for those of you guys who are in England, you guys can please answer this question. I said, what do you guys learn about the American Revolution? And then Phoenix said that she didn't remember learning anything about it. And then when she asked her sister, she said her sister, like, oh, we learned about Watergate. I'm like, that's not the American Revolution. And then on the other hand, Column said he learned about the American Revolution, but then again, he's a history guy, so he might just know more in general, or be more well-read about it. And I thought it was kind of interesting, because I figured, you know what, I know it's American history, but it's also British history, and so I figured that there would be some sort of connection. You'd want to learn about that. I mean, Colum, I think, put it this way. He's like, nobody wants to learn about the things that they lost, like Vietnam, for us in the States, Vietnam or Korea, those are not victories at all, especially Vietnam. But it's one of those things that, you still, I think, to be an objective historian and an objective learner, you should learn about them. I mean, good and bad, There was this thing, I can't remember what it was, but there was my dad told me this. I don't know where it came from, but he said that you learn more from your mistakes than you do your successes, And so I've sort of taken that statement, that belief, and I've incorporated it into my life. Because I mean, those things that you get right, you don't really worry about, because you got them right. The things that you did wrong, that you want to really learn from. Why did that go wrong? And so I think that's sort of the way I approach it. It applies to history as well. It's like, well, we won these wars, if we're talking in terms of a war, but we lost these other ones. Why did we lose them? What can we learn from them? And some have argued that we never learned those lessons from Vietnam. Others have said we have. But I don't want to get on that. The Vietnam is a very touchy subject for everybody. So I've got like 5 minutes left. And the one thing I kind of wanted to talk about at the very end here is I really would love to experience 4th of July celebration on the East Coast. and I was talking with Phoenix and Fake Thriller and Column, and I believe that's it. Oh, and Robin as well. Yesterday about this, and I mentioned it kind of briefly, but I think because I'm so, on the West Coast, so I'm so far away from the historical epicenter of the revolution, there are things that I think we take kind of for granted. And I think it would be awesome to go to these coasts and see these places, see Boston. I mean, like, I've been to Boston last year, and I've been to New York back in '04. But when I went to New York, and even when I went to Boston, I didn't go with like the historical mind, the historical mindset. I mean, I went to Boston to go see a Padres game, but secondarily we saw some things in Boston that related to history. But I didn't go to like seek out the history. It would be, and definitely when I was in New York in '04, I just, it wasn't really something I was even thinking about. It was just like, I'm going to New York, first time ever. But during a time like Independence Day, like 4th of July, it would be really cool to just go do colonial stuff. Like, what was it, Colonial Williamsburg, or maybe go see Salem, where the witch trials were, and just kind of go to these places that have such historical significance, within the country, and go see like Lexington and Concord, and go see these places that revolved around the Revolution. Now Salem doesn't have anything to do with the Revolution, but it's just one of the cities, the older cities that come to mind. So I feel like I kind of feel like I'm missing out, And I got a peer of mine who graduated this year from the history department, and he has an internship in Philadelphia right now. I'm kind of jealous because he's posting all these pictures of all the Revolution, the Independence Day celebrations going on, and it's really cool. It's really interesting to see the depth in which the people on the East Coast are taking this holiday compared to the West Coast, because we pretty much, on the West Coast, we get together, have, your family barbecue and you watch some fireworks, but I think, this is just could be me being a total history nerd, but I think it would be that much more interesting to be able to go to these places, be able to go see Independence Hall in Philadelphia, to be able to go to the Boston Tea Party location and the Boston Tea Party museum that they probably by now have finished constructing. So that would be really cool. I'd love to be able to do that. Like I said, I'd love to be able to go do that stuff and go see this stuff again, like for Boston, go see it again, but go see it during a time like this, during the Independence Day. That would be really cool. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna cut this off really short. I probably only have a couple minutes of video left, but I appreciate you guys sitting through the long video, and sorry it took me so long to get a video out. I've got several things I'd like to get done, but Spanish is really kind of in the way right now. So I've got another 3 weeks of that, and I should be back to like a regular, maybe posting every day or every few days sort of a schedule. So sorry for the lull in the activity. I know some of you guys have sent me comments either on the PSN or through YouTube about it, and I just wanted to kind of address that towards the end. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Have a very happy 4th of July, Independence Day. Be safe. Don't want to sound like everyone's dad out there, but be safe, especially if you're going to play with fireworks. And thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.